A West Virginia senator from Mon County is encouraging counties from different states, which are Virginia and Maryland, to leave their state and join our state, West Virginia.
Right, creating a new super West Virginia. Now, you know us, we pretty much stay apolitical, but this one's spreading all over the place,
This is
especially
personal.
on Facebook. It's going all over the place. Everybody's got an opinion, so of course we've got some too. So I wanted to do a little fun what if, right? A what if episode, just to kind of talk about what if that did happen? What would it look like? In reality, we know it's probably not very likely. It's probably not going to happen. That's a pretty far out there idea, probably.
That all three states would have to agree on this.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know
So some
about
people
that.
would say, hey, you're wasting time even talking about it's not going to happen. We know that. But we thought it would be fun just to imagine what if? What if it did? What would the new state look like? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to walk you through, and I'm going to present to you. I've done a lot of research here today. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the new West Virginia would look like. Not just the state outline, which our famous state outline would radically change.
Yes.
But also what would it look like culturally, economically, age, population, land size.
This isn't just a few counties. This is 30 counties. 30 counties. That's not a handful.
Right. 27 from Virginia and 3 from Maryland.
Yes.
So for our purposes for tonight, we're going to say all 30 of them join West Virginia. What does West Virginia look like? So we go from 55 counties to 85 counties. Overnight, what happens? What happens?
Chaos.
Pure chaos. All right, let's jump into it, guys. I'm Corey.
I'm Kelsey.
And this is Almost Heaven, Always Us. And before we go any further in the episode, I want to give a shout out to our first ever sponsor.
Nicholson Logging. Chad Nicholson. He was on one of our episodes a while back, and we were so excited that he wanted to sponsor us. So thank you so much, Chad.
Thanks, Chad. So here we go. First thing we're going to talk about, what counties are we talking about? Because that's going to make a big difference.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of counties out there. Virginia, I just looked this up. Virginia has 95 counties currently. They have
That's
95.
insane.
So that's a lot of counties compared to our
huge.
55. So if we took 27 of those counties, which ones are we talking about? You want to give us just a quick kind of
Oh my gosh,
rundown?
for
Should we
Virginia?
list them out, or should we just kind of explain regionally where they are?
So it looks like it's mostly southwestern counties, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at just a few that I know. Rockingham, Shenandoah, Giles.
And we were there recently, but
Yes.
go on.
Yes, Buchanan, Bath, just
Highland.
a few, Augusta. So that's
Frederick.
just to name a few. We won't sit here and bore you to
Yeah.
death. But the Maryland ones I know very well.
What are they?
The Washington one, not so much. Allegheny and Garrett, I could get behind. I'm not going to.
Hold on. We're not going to give our
Oh,
opinion
okay.
so early in the episode.
Okay, well, the
we got
three
to let-
Maryland ones are Allegheny, Garrett, and Washington.
Right. At the end of the episode, we will let you know where we stand on all of this. But before we do, because this may change your mind too, I want to lay all the facts out.
Okay.
Then at the end, then we're going to give our opinion on whether it's a good idea or not.
Okay.
Right? But right now, we're just talking about the counties, which counties. So I'm going to ask you guys right here from the beginning. If, assuming you are a yes, and you would invite counties to join West Virginia, what are some that you would like to see join from Virginia and Maryland?
Yes.
Right off the get-go. Let us know in the comments below, and maybe we'll respond to them.
Well, based on some comments on our personal videos on our Facebook page, a lot of people from Garrett County specifically said, we wish we were part of West Virginia.
Yes. So recently we did a bonus Where in West Virginia video, but it wasn't really West Virginia, was it? It was a Where in Maryland.
Where in Maryland.
We switched it up a little bit just to see what people would say. A lot of people from Garrett County, from Deep Creek, responded. And then maybe they're a little biased because maybe they're followers of the show. So maybe they like West Virginia. But a lot of those were saying, hey, we'd love to be a part of West Virginia. But, I've got that vibe before, even before that episode or before that video came out. I've heard people say that before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty familiar with Garrett County. Pretty familiar.
Yeah.
My company's headquartered out of Garrett County.
Yeah.
My car has Maryland tags. The car.
We have to drive through it every time we have to go back home.
Right. So
In Grant County.
out of all of the counties listed here, out of all 30 counties, we are probably most familiar with Garrett County. I guess we're doing Maryland first. It looks like we're doing Maryland first. I know a good bit of people. They're all pretty cool. Everybody I know is pretty cool. I know a lot of them. They're really cool people, good people. And a lot of them, I think, lean toward it. Your mom worked in Garrett County for a while.
Yes,
They
she
have
did.
a West Virginia WVU
They do.
hospital there, correct? WVU Health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
A lot of the people there root for WVU. When we drive through on game day weekends, you'll see a lot of people wearing West
It
Virginia
doesn't
gear.
have a Maryland feel either.
Yeah. So I think, again, I don't want to share our opinion so early in the episode, but if any of the 30 counties made sense, that's pretty much a given.
Yeah,
I think Garrett County is pretty much a given. I think they would be a really good fit. But anyway,
yeah. So the senator here that we're talking about is Chris Rose. The proposal cited the county's geographic, economic, cultural, and historical connections with West Virginia, including a strong Appalachian heritage, rural lifestyles, and a focus on individual liberties as the reason for the invitation. So just if you want to know why, that's one of the reasons why, which is interesting.
Yeah, I thought this episode will be fun because we'll make people in 3 different states mad with this one. We're imagining a what if scenario, so we're not really talking the politics behind it because that'd get messy.
Yeah, so
we'll just say that from the beginning before you come at us.
Just understand that. Don't say anything ugly or hateful in the comments to anybody. Don't start a whole debate and a big old fight in our comments about this.
We're looking at it from a non-political view, just purely looking, what would the state look like if this happened? Now, some counties, like you said, all 3 states would have to agree. Each county would have to agree.
Yeah.
So would all 30 join? In reality, if this was really playing out, no. Right? Mm-mm. Maybe some would say yes. There's some that are, at least some of them are going to say no 100%, right from the get-go.
It would take a ton of people.
Because some of them, like Frederick, Clark, Warren, Page, maybe even Rockingham, which I personally enjoy Rockingham County, but I feel like they'd probably be more of a no. Mm-hmm. And I think some of that's probably because right now some of their schools are a little better funded. Their income's a little higher. The roads are a little better. Yeah. And they're a little bit more suburban, Harrisonburg and places like that. And they probably wouldn't want to lose those Virginia, benefits. So Washington County, Maryland, that's probably kind of in that boat. So those are probably more likely no's. But again, for our purposes, we're just imagining we're taking them all. We're taking all 30. What does it look like?
They're adopted.
All right. So here's what happens right from the get-go. Here's the biggest thing. West Virginia's population right now is about 1.7. You bring in those 30 extra counties. Now suddenly our West Virginia population is at 2.6 million. Ooh. So the population explosion, but not in the way that you think when we say population explosion, because you think of a lot of people coming in.
Stay.
Nobody's moving. Everybody's staying right where they're at. But since the state border's moving, now there's suddenly 2.6 million. So that takes West Virginia from the 39th in the state or in the nation to 33rd overall. So a pretty big population jump.
Yeah.
Assuming that the income stayed the same in those counties that they're currently at and they don't drop or no change, what would it do for the income overall, West Virginia? So right now, West Virginia pretty much finishes in the bottom 50th for income at $55,000 average. That additional county, some of them average between 50 and 70. So again, assuming all 30 come, because some counties are better than others as far as income, that would bring us up to about 60 to 62 from 55. And that would put us still kind of in the bottom half, but like 35 to 38th. So a pretty good jump there. Yeah. Still not quite mid ranks, but a pretty good jump. I got a few things to say about income. I watched another interesting video today too. And this guy, he was from out of state and he was interviewing people in southern West Virginia. And a man there, a local man in southern West Virginia said, the income may be somewhat low, but we really don't need that much. He was like, a lot of people own where they're at down there, especially. There's a lot of like family homes and lands that have been passed on. So if you own, so take that and combine it with another stat that I read recently that said West Virginia, I think, was last in debt, the least in debt state. Wow. And then a lot of people in the comments were dumping on West Virginia, like they do. Well, yeah, they don't have any debt because they don't have any money either. But I was like, so basically, what this man that backs up what this man was saying. What he's saying is, if you don't have a mortgage and you don't have a whole bunch of debt, you don't need a lot of income. If you own your stuff, if you have your own garden, because they were driving through the different hollers there, and you could see where people had their own gardens, were growing their own food. Yeah. Some people have farms and they're raising their own meat. And some people, sometimes a lot of that stuff's off the books. You know what I mean? If you're selling to your neighbor a service of some sort and it's cash, that's not going to be reported. It's not going to be reflected in that $55,000. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff like that.
I know that there's a lot of stuff like that.
I know there's a lot of people who it's like, hey, it looks like you didn't make any money at all for a couple of years. What was you doing? And they were doing all right. Right? Yeah. So my point is this. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I don't love that West Virginia is the bottom of income. Right. But it can be a little bit misleading, I think. It's a little bit of a misleading fact because, again, do we need a huge income in West Virginia? Maybe not. Some people can get by with less than others. We'll put it that way.
We are not the sum that gets.
Well, you better get used to it.
I can't grow things.
Yeah.
I can't grow things. We own things, but I can't grow things. we have to buy groceries.
Yeah, sure.
We own things.
Yeah. All right. Age. How does age change? Right now, did you know that West Virginia is the oldest state in the nation? We've talked about this
It's the
before. It's
oldest
the oldest.
state. I
At
guess I forgot about that.
42.7 years old, that's the average.
That's
That's the
kind of
median
old.
age. With the new counties, it don't change very much.
Yeah.
Not as much as you would think. It lowers slightly, but really it drops from 42.7 to about 41. It's not a huge drop. I think that's because some of the counties that were being offered, not so much being offered, but being suggested are probably some of the older counties in their respective states as well. I think the younger people probably live toward the higher city
it said
area.
that these are rural
These
Appalachian.
are Appalachian. Yeah. So they lean a little older anyway. So our age really doesn't change. So I was kind of surprised at first when I read that, but then I thought, that actually makes sense. That makes sense. Land area. West Virginia currently at 24,230 square feet. The added counties would add another 14.5 to 15.5-ish. And that brings the total up to about 39. We go from 41st down to about 17 through 19. So that's a pretty big jump in land size, obviously a big jump.
Something interesting, I just looked up what the youngest populated state is, and it's Utah.
Really? Utah?
Yes.
31.2.
It's it's the Secret Life of Mormon Wives that's bringing in those young girls.
They have a lot of babies? Or?
They have a lot of babies.
I think that's probably a lot of it because...
Or Utah is a vibe right now.
The birth rate has a big thing to do with it, and young people leaving. So if you can have a lot of babies and they stay, that's going to bring the age down.
So Utah, then Alaska, North Dakota, Idaho, and Texas.
GDP, West Virginia currently about 80 billion. The new counties added. Again, this would depend on which ones actually come, because we keep saying the ones that are more likely to come are probably not the ones with the highest GDP. But if we got them all, we would jump from 80 billion to about 135 to 145. Which would do us a big jump there, taking us to like 33rd. So still not quite the top half, but getting closer.
Yeah.
And everybody's favorite topics, politics. What would it do politically? Well, West Virginia right now has 2 seats for congressional representation, and we would probably gain about 3. It says borderline, maybe 4. So we probably end up with about 5 seats. So that's more than double.
Yeah.
The congressional representation. That would mean, what that means on a national level is people would have to care about West Virginia a little bit more nationally, because we have a little bit more votes that matter nationally. We're talking about nationally. What would that do statewide? I didn't actually look that up, but we could kind of predict.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I was seeing for people that wanted to leave is they felt like they weren't getting represented by Richmond. And in the western counties of Maryland weren't getting representation.
Some residents feel forgotten by the state government and believe they would receive better attention and resources from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's interesting too, because I saw arguments both sides, because some people said, well, right now the roads are pretty good. A lot of times the schools are pretty well funded compared to West Virginia.
Yes.
But someone else said that they really didn't feel like they were receiving the resources like you read. So would they get less from West Virginia if they joined? Would that stuff decrease, or would it kind of balance out and they'd lift us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard to say exactly. And this is just a lot of it's based on comments and stuff we read on Facebook and whatever. Because I was reading some Virginia thoughts and Maryland thoughts on this proposal as well. But that's what a lot of them were saying. They didn't feel were necessarily represented by Richmond. They didn't think Charleston would give them better representation. So what would that mean for the existing West Virginia as we know it? Well, we would have a little bit less say overall in the state, because we would have to let the new counties also decide in the voting as well. I think they're pretty close politically aligned anyway, but it may make things a little bit more competitive as far as primaries and things like that, which I would be all for. Some more competitiveness and,
Yeah, I think there would be a lot of competing. And what little resources West Virginia does have, then you have to stretch it even further. And just, you know.
I don't know, because what are they bringing to the table? So you're thinking about it as like we have X amount of money right now currently in the 55 counties. Then we add these counties and we have to stretch it thinner. But the idea is that they're bringing to the table as well. They're paying taxes, less taxes than they're paying now. That was one of the big reasons.
Yeah.
But they're still paying taxes in. So it's not a situation of we got 55 slices of pie, but now we have to give it out to 85 different counties. It should be, in theory, everybody the pie gets a little bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
that's the theory behind it anyway. How would it actually play out? Listen, if you're looking for us to answer that, you're on the wrong podcast. All right, and you need to go to like C-SPAN or Who's the one on the radio all the time?
I don't know. I don't listen
Yeah.
to the
No, I
radio.
know we don't listen to it. NPR.
Oh,
If you want like a good stats and like politics and things like that, that's where you need to go. We're just trying to have fun.
yeah, if
We're
you
just
do,
trying to
if
have
you
fun.
listen to NPR, leave that in the comments, please, because I'm wondering who listens to that. No hate.
No hate there. Just it is what it is. We're not NPR.
Yeah,
We're just here on Google.
yeah, just Googling it.
What else you got? Why they would potentially want to join? Culturally, we haven't talked about culturally yet. So let's talk about that for a second.
Well, it did. It was talking about Appalachian heritage and being rural and having a more conservative lifestyle. So, and I feel like I get that from Garrett County a little bit from what I see.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
I'm not really familiar with, like, we went to Rockingham when we were
Yeah.
younger and we would go to like the fair and stuff.
Yeah, we spent a lot
But
of
I
time in
don't,
Rockingham.
and I went to
And
Winchester
I spent a lot of time in
lot.
Highland County. We spent a lot in Shenandoah.
Yeah, but I don't know Virginia that well, but I just know that little sliver of Maryland, and I'm like, I can see
Yeah.
that we share values with them.
Well, we drove through at least Southwest Virginia a few times, quite
Yeah.
a few times, and I think culturally they're pretty much the same. There's and we follow a lot of Appalachian channels,
Yeah.
and I think that culturally, so this is pretty much the Appalachian belt that we're grabbing here.
Yeah.
That's the counties. So I think culturally they would be a good fit all in
Yeah.
all. I think
Right.
a lot of times it's urban versus rural,
Yeah.
and I think that these are more of the rural counties. And they're feeling like they're not getting the representation that the urban counties get.
Right.
I think that's a lot to do with it. All right. But let's talk about the ones we do know a little bit. So we had, Augusta County is one of them on there, right? That's Stanton. Like, that's kind of far out to think Stanton
I know.
would be part of West Virginia in this scenario. So, yeah, the only reason I know that's because my dad, his second wife was from Stanton. So we went to visit her a lot when they were dating or whatever. I was younger.
R.I.P.
So I spent a lot of time, RIP. I spent a lot of time in Stanton. I spent a lot of time in Rockingham County, a lot of time because both my dad and sister lived there for a period of time.
Yeah.
My sister went to JMU. That's another thing we'll talk about here in a minute. What colleges come in?
Yeah.
Right now you've got Marshall and WVU as the big dogs. JMU's been doing pretty well over
It
the
is a
years.
big dog, actually, JMU.
JMU's
Bulldogs.
There you go. There you go.
I did basketball camps there
That's
every
right,
summer
yeah.
for a long time.
Harrisonburg has been growing up. I think they're probably a little bit more of a likely of a no county, but let's just say that here's what I do know about some. So we're thinking like Harrisonburg proper, like city limits, but you get out in Rockingham County, it's pretty rural.
Yeah.
We used to go to the fair. The fair reminds you of a
It
West Virginia
was
State Fair.
very rural feeling.
We went to the Rockingham County Fair probably like 3 years in a row when we were teenagers, and feels very much like a West Virginia fair. Highland County, I used to go to the fair there all the time. That's right, borders Pendleton County. It's very much reminds you of West Virginia. We drove through it recently. We were there this year.
Yeah.
Highland and Bath. We drove through Highland and Bath. My sister worked in Bath County for a while, so she's
I didn't know
really
that.
familiar. Yeah.
Is that when she was living in Harrisonburg?
Yeah, she drove from Harrisonburg to Bath. That was
okay.
pretty good haul.
Okay, I didn't know that was Bath, but I did know.
So she
that
lived in
was
Bath
driving.
County for a while. So we got some familiarity there. I would say, when you first get into Rockingham County, coming from Pendleton County, it's very farmy. There's a lot of farms there. They showed the animals there at the fair. We would go watch them. So agriculture was a big deal. Oh yeah, Highland County. It's pretty small. Highland County is cute. We drove through it. It feels like there's not a whole lot going on. It's very rural.
I like it.
My
Seems quiet.
grandfather, who lived in Pendleton County, lived just a few miles from Highland County. His farm was just a few miles. So when we would go there was a time, at least one time, he did a hayride for us kids on his track. Like he pulled a wagon with hay on his tractor, and we went on the main road even, and we crossed. We were like, it's like welcome to Virginia.
Yeah.
So we were in the Highland County. So could you tell the difference? No. Like nature doesn't care where our state border ends. Nature's nature. It looked exactly the same. You couldn't tell. You crossed from West Virginia to Virginia in Highland County, Bath County. Oh, and how could I forget? All the times I worked with my dad as a painter throughout the summers, we used to go to Highland especially a lot and did a lot of painting there in Monterey and Bluegrass. So we were there all the time.
Yeah.
Highland County, yeah. Then as you get a little bit more southwestern, you got those ones that already border southwestern.
Yeah.
Or the ones that already border southern West Virginia, southwest Virginia down there. Like you got the two Bluefields. It would be Bluefield United proper. One big Bluefield. You know, our buddy Joshua Street, he went into Tazewell. I think they say it. It looks like Tazewell.
Oh, Tazewell.
But I think they pronounce it Tazewell.
Is that right, Josh?
It's probably not right, but I think that's how he pronounced it. He crossed the border. He went into that county, and he went in there and he said he's doing pepperoni rolls, Southern West Virginia
Oh,
pepperoni rolls.
that's where it was.
But he went into Virginia,
Okay.
enemy territory,
Yeah.
and he said that was the best so far that he's had on his trail.
Shoot.
Was in Virginia.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart at first. It broke my heart. I said, Joshua, how could you say that? He's just being honest. That just shows you how honest
He is honest.
That shows you how authentic his rating is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Trustworthy.
if this happened, would that be the new best pepperoni roll in West Virginia?
Oh, no,
it'd be
Thomas.
up there with like Mountaintop
Top
Convenience and the Donut Spot and places like that. So apparently there's some good eating down there. You know, some good pepperoni rolls still. You know, what about Winchester? I spent a week in Winchester as a teenager.
Winchester does not feel
almost dead. Do you remember? You were dating me.
Oh, you were almost dead?
And I was almost dead
you were
with a
almost
mystery illness that they couldn't figure out. They tested me for everything, couldn't figure it out. And I was laying there like almost dead. Spent a week in there. I started out in Grant Memorial for a while, and then they moved me to Winchester. And it was brutal.
Yeah, I was just like, it's swine flu. It's this. It's that.
That was swine flu was going around. So, like the doctor was kind of joking, but he's like, maybe.
Maybe. We don't know, man.
And then when I was 16... my mom spent a whole summer there in critical ICU.
Yeah, that was
But she pulled through. She's still alive because this was, well, it's like 20 years ago. So she's doing really well. But she came really close to dying multiple times. So Winchester did a good job keeping her alive. But that summer when she was in there, I spent a lot of time there because she was in there. I was driving, so I was going back and forth between Petersburg and Winchester.
In my opinion, Winchester seems a little bit more fancy, and it doesn't seem real to me at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, really, that's funny that you would say that because I feel like a lot of people, like in Inwood areas and places like that, like that's right there on the 81 corridor. Martinsburg, it's really not that far. So I feel like it is. I have family that live in the Winchester area, but they kind of moved north a little bit into West Virginia, probably for the lower taxes.
Yeah.
But it's still really close by. Of course, the 81 corridor, you can go Winchester and then you can go to Harrisonburg. I did that a lot that summer too when Mom was in there because my sister was in Harrisonburg.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time driving 81. Saw a bear on 81. So they got some bears too. So that would help them out. I spotted that bear. I was like, is that a bear? I was on the interstate and we pulled over and looked at it. He was just sitting there. There was like one tree. It was kind of an open field and one tree and there was a bear in it. And he was just hanging out there on 81, somewhere in between. Oh, and we've spent some time in there too. We went to Luray Caverns. Remember that?
Yep.
And that little zoo. They have a cute little zoo there in Luray.
Yeah, for our 2nd year anniversary, I have a whole photo album for that trip.
Yeah, that was a good trip.
It was.
And we've spent a lot of time, obviously, in Garrett County. We hit 3 state parks there. Remember, we've
that
done,
you have to pay to go to.
That's true. If they joined West Virginia,
free.
It'd probably be free. So that would be a benefit there.
Free.
They got beautiful state parks, and I'm sure Virginia's got beautiful state parks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me talk about this. This will blow your mind. If these counties joined, West Virginia would go from having 5 border states to 7.
Ugh.
Do you know what the 2 new ones would be right off top?
Tennessee.
Yep.
North Carolina.
Yeah, very good. You got it. You killed it.
So good.
That blows my mind a little bit. So we would actually border Tennessee and North Carolina.
Were you impressed by me?
I'm very impressed.
Okay.
I give you a gold star for sure for that. So it would change our points a little bit, like what's the most eastern port? What's the most? And I believe I looked it up. So I believe the most eastern would be Maryland. Pull up your picture there again, just so I can double check. I don't want to tell them wrong. Still got your picture up. Yeah, right. So the most eastern looks like it would be up there in Washington County, Maryland, and it looks like a little High Rock is up there. So it's not really a town. It's more of a scenic area, kind of like looks like I don't know. It's called Highfield Cascade. And it looks kind of like a foresty area. But I don't know. I don't really know if there's what the forest would be called or anything. I'm not familiar. High Rock looks like it looks pretty. Here's a picture of High Rock.
Oh, wow. That is really pretty.
It's a high rock, as the name implies. But it has a lot of graffiti on it, unfortunately.
Is that supposed to be there, guys? Like, is that a thing? Like, you go there and you, like, ruin it?
It looks like, because it's absolutely covered in
that's fine. If that's your thing, that's fine, and you think that's cool. But if someone did that to Cooper's, I would be so mad.
So here's the deal. They join West Virginia, we clean graffiti up, and it turns into a nice, pretty, clean rock.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's honestly like
because it's a good view. Looks like a good view.
Yeah, I don't want to hate it if they love that about it.
Right.
But I don't like that.
I'm not a fan because it's not even that pretty.
Like
if it was somebody like Kelson Thorne who did like a really pretty picture on it, then we're all for it. But this looks like random.
Watch it be like Kelson did this.
Yeah.
No, I would know. I know Kelson's
Yeah,
work.
that's definitely not
It's
his
pretty
work.
iconic.
Let's see who they don't have in there. I think Blacksburg was left out. So no Virginia
Oh yeah,
Tech,
Blacksburg.
which I was kind
Well,
of
that's
surprised.
good.
But I was surprised. Also,
We don't want them
UVA
turkeys.
obviously is nowhere close to there, so it's far out of the picture. So really, I think the big college would be JMU. Would probably be the biggest
Yeah.
college to join. Uh, but I think that would change. I think I read on there between all the colleges, even the smaller colleges,
Mm-hmm.
that it would increase the college student. It's like a third of what's currently in West Virginia colleges. So a big jump there in colleges. We would get Bristol, Virginia, that
Mm-hmm.
borders Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I've been there. Spent a week there. And
I
did
like
the
I
the
like that
country.
name.
Let's see, what was it? The country.
Is there two
The country
Bristols?
museum, country music. Yeah, Bristol,
Country,
Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia. The
country
country
music.
music museum is on the Virginia side. I was there. I have friends from Abingdon, which is really close too. It's
Who?
probably another half hour. I have multiple friends from Abingdon, multiple that work with me. They
Oh
moved up
my
because the company we do a
gosh.
lot of work for used to be down. That was their primary area. Then they kind
Yeah.
of moved up
Oh,
here,
okay.
and then they moved with it. Yeah. So always beautiful down there. Very historic. There's like when I was down there in Abingdon,
Mm-hmm.
when I spent the week in Bristol and Abingdon, I think it's the oldest like Civil War restaurant or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, I've
That
heard
was
how
like
you
a
said
real
that.
that was active during the Civil War, and
Mm-hmm.
it still has the cobblestone and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very expensive. I forget what it was
Yeah.
called. I bet I could look it
To
up.
eat there, it's expensive.
Oh, it was super expensive. It was like
Oh.
$400 or something crazy like that. It was crazy.
And someone paid
No, it was
for
like for
it?
a group of us, but it was
Oh,
very very
still.
pricey. Like I think the cheapest thing on the menu was like $30,
Oh my
and that was
gosh.
probably like a bologna sandwich. Nah, they wouldn't even serve that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all nice stuff. Yeah, here it is, the tavern. So this was back before the podcast. I didn't get any pictures or anything, but here you can see the inside. Look at that. It's still got the stone walls and the
That's very
cobblestone
pretty.
floor and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The tavern's probably wondering like, how are we getting mentioned on a West Virginia podcast right now? Andy's calling us expensive, but they are. But it's because it's a nice setting. It's a nice place, It's a
Oh
really cool
my.
place. See how we get stuff like that? That's pretty cool. We'd be bordering Tennessee, North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, so we'd be touching the
Yeah.
South there. We'd be a lot more southern.
Something interesting that I'm reading on Reddit here,
Okay,
which Reddit claims to be the heart of the internet. It
sure.
is talking about wages going down. Like apparently, like you mentioned earlier, we don't need a lot to like live, or like we don't need a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's saying like one of these comments said, "I'm sure the people in Cumberland would love to have their wages cut from $15 an hour to $8.75 an hour."
Oh, they're talking about this particular thing.
Yeah, this particular thing. These are people from Maryland talking about it.
Oh, is this Maryland? No, you're in West
I
Virginia
don't
Reddit.
know. I'm on West Virginia Reddit,
Yeah,
but
and you know
well,
that
someone
the people of West Virginia Reddit dislike West Virginia more than anybody. So obviously they're going to have something to complain
Why is
about.
that? You have said that a lot.
They hate West Virginia. I don't. If you want people to speak positive of it, you're not going to go look in there. That's for sure.
Where did this one? Someone says you can take Cumberland from my cold dead hands.
So Cumberland doesn't want to come. It sounds
I
like.
don't think so. This says I bet Maryland counties alone double West Virginia's tax revenues. Deep Creek and Wisp, Casino and Rocky Gap, and a solid college in Frostburg, and the medical infrastructure in Hagerstown.
Yeah.
And Maryland roots for the Steelers. Seriously, what the heck is he thinking?
Yeah, they do. But what's that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
Look here. It looks like I was just typing in just for fun. Like if you were going from the northern part of the Panhandle down to what would be the new, like southern kind of part, like Bristol, which I don't know exactly that's the true most north and most south. I'm just speculating here, looking at the map. But it would take you about 7 hours to drive that.
Jeez.
So the state would become a lot bigger if you were trying to hit
That's insane.
drive wise.
I know. Just
drive times would
imagine
go up.
Chad Nicholson right now.
Yeah, Chad Nicholson, because he's hit 55
No.
or like 50.
Imagine Chad Nicholson right now thinking, I'm almost done. And then you add to all this, and he was like, oh
30
my
more
gosh.
counties. Like, I'm just getting started. Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite comment that I think. It says, yeah, come to West Virginia. We got Dollar Generals and Mountain Dew, and you're going to love it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh.
Reddit's
Reddit's
Reddit,
terrible,
Reddit
but
is
I
one
just
thing.
wanted to get the real people's.
I don't think they are. Like, so
These are
I'm
the
on
most
Facebook, and
hateful.
it's a lot
Yeah,
more
these are
friendly.
because these people hide behind usernames such as Master Our Kitty and Lost Husband underscore.
Yeah.
Okay, these aren't like
Right. They're
real.
not their real names, so they say whatever they
Yeah,
want. Most of them seem really miserable.
yeah. This is called individual drama.
They're calling out their names. They're going to mention us. They're going to come after us. Sorry, Reddit.
Well,
All right. Here's something I want to ask you. I want to get to the meat of it all. The state outline.
no.
What does it look like? I'll have to put an image up right here so everybody can see.
You,
Picture that,
you're
the new
viewing
state.
this beautiful state outline.
Mhm.
Iconic. Only a few other states in the whole country have a state shape like this. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
And then, so this is what it would look like now that you're seeing
Yeah.
if we joined
Joined.
with these other 30 counties. Now
Look,
that's
you have
god
some weird
awful.
panhandles too, like additional panhandles. You got
Mm-hmm.
in Virginia, you would have almost two right
Got
there.
some type of weird looking baby
Our
crap.
eastern panhandle becomes a lot less panhandly and becomes a
Yeah.
lot more block shaped.
Mhm.
So it almost kind of gets rid of the panhandle, like that
It
unique,
definitely,
especially that unique.
yeah, it
little-
has straight
Yeah,
edges.
we'd just be.
And
and
no
then
one
kinda-
wants that. No one's
Yeah.
asking for this.
Yeah, and it makes the northern panhandle look a lot more lonely at that point
Mhm.
because it's just kind of
Here
out
we
there.
are up here.
Here we are. Did y'all forget about it?
That'll be
Like,
the
it
new
makes
Southern
you
West
want-
Virginia.
It makes you want to think about some of the Pennsylvania county, Greene County. I think Greene County would make
Hey,
a good argument
I
right now.
really like Pennsylvania. I don't think that's been said on here before, but I really like Pennsylvania. I hate on Maryland a lot. I don't know Virginia, but I like Pennsylvania.
Now, you like parts of Pennsylvania. You can hardly
like
say
parts
that
of
you like the whole
Pennsylvania.
state because there's a
Yeah,
lot
this
of it
is
you haven't
like
seen. You're talking mostly Greene County because we know a lot of people from Greene County.
I like going to Homestead.
Yeah,
Have a lot of fun in Homestead. I like Pittsburgh. I'm just thinking of that Always Sunny in Philadelphia when he's
Yeah.
like, Pittsburgh can't be in Pennsylvania because we have Philadelphia. And he's
Exactly.
like, you're allowed to have two big cities in one state. And he was like, but we already have Philadelphia. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can also have Pittsburgh.
because they're clear over there. I know. I always think about
doesn't
that
seem
when
like
I
it's
drive
real.
up to Pittsburgh and you cross over and it's like, welcome to
Mhm.
Pennsylvania. And I think, man, I'm like, it's crazy that this is the same place as Philadelphia. Like, that's so far away.
Well, that's how I feel about
So
Maryland
far
when
away.
we're in Garrett County. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
Baltimore's
we barely
here.
even talked about that because I used to spend a good bit of time in Baltimore for work.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
true.
Baltimore to the western counties, I
Mhm.
mean, that's two different states.
Mhm.
Come on. Distance wise, for one thing, but also
Yeah.
culturally, that's two different states
Mhm.
right there.
It
Completely
is.
two different states. When I think of Western Maryland, I think a lot of people like West Virginia, they're like hunting and they're enjoying
Mhm.
nature. And then you go to Baltimore and you don't have none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally different.
They're probably going to
culture.
get mad and be like, yeah, we got all sorts of scenic nature out here, but I didn't see it. The harbor, I guess, if you count that. I like the harbor. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or it used to be, at least when I was a kid. And would go, I don't
Mhm.
know what it's like these days. I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, back on point. So the state outline would definitely take a hit.
Yeah.
That would definitely take a hit. That's, I mean, that part would be hard to swallow. I think that'd be hard to swallow. But all in all, what would joining? One last thing I want to talk about. One last thing. I want to know who benefits from it. There's going to be pros and cons like everything else. All right. There's going to be people right here in what we know as West Virginia right now.
Mhm.
There's going to be people who would be for it. There's going to be people who are against it. When we look at the states, Maryland, there's going to be people for it, people against it. Virginia, people for it, people against it. That's just how it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But what I wanted to look at is overall, who is the winners and losers from this if it happened? What do the states get? Why would they? First of all, let's look at from the county's perspectives of those states. They're voting yes or no first before even the state level. Let's just do they even want to come? Would they want to come?
Okay.
Why would they want to come? So we talked about that. But let's talk about would they be winning or losing?
Okay.
So they could get lower taxes, better gun rights if you're into hunting and things like that. It's kind of hard in Western Maryland. They're really
Yeah,
strict
it
on
is.
guns.
You gotta hide your gun under your seat when you drive through.
I don't know anything about that, but that's what I've heard.
If you yeah.
I've heard people do that,
Some people do.
but they're pretty strict about it. And a lot of talking about the southwestern Virginia, they're a lot more. They could be a lot more pro coal, and so maybe they feel like West Virginia would benefit that part better.
Yeah.
A cultural alignment. Appalachian. We would be an Appalachian super house if this happened. Appalachian. We would be like a heart. We already are. West Virginia is the only state that's
can't take
fully
that from us.
encased in Appalachian, but that would be like a stamp. Like you can't get more Appalachian than that. They feel overshadowed by Northern Virginia
Mm-hmm.
often. West Virginia's government is much smaller, so they feel like they could have more influence.
Mm-hmm.
Still less people, even with these additional counties
Yeah.
than Virginia and Maryland, I believe. So it's easier to have influence. West Virginia could be perhaps friendlier to rural schools, churches, and landowners, and could be just friendlier in general. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a lot of the Virginias. Maryland, same way though. Maryland taxes are really high typically. Their politics are dominated by Baltimore and even
Mm.
people from
Yeah.
the DC outskirts. Very strict gun culture, like we said, gun restrictions, cultural mismatch a little bit because you got the coastal urban. See, that's a whole. It's
Yeah. Coastal.
even the what is the word I'm looking for here? Geography. The
Mm-hmm.
geography is different. You got the Appalachian versus coastal. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's
two different geographies.
weird.
Even they're completely different. A lot of them already watch West Virginia TV, West Virginia culture, like WVU, like we talked about. Got
Mm-hmm.
WVU Health in a lot of those places,
Yeah.
and some people already commute through it.
Mm-hmm. And Western Virginia just wants a 70-mile-per-hour speed limit.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Did somebody say
Yeah.
that? Yeah, so that's what you would win. Now, some of the counties that are more western that may say no, they're more toss up, might say like Washington County, Maryland. Some of those might say, yeah, we're still a little bit more suburban ourselves, so I don't know how well we would fit.
Yeah.
So there's that thing, and then the wealthier, like Frederick and counties like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd probably be a little less likely to want to join.
Yeah.
And their reasons would they say, well, yeah, it's higher taxes, but also a higher tax base, which
Mm-hmm.
equals better funded schools, better roads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They could fear political instability and the West Virginia brand. And I hate to say that because to me, West Virginia brand is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess some people don't. They think all West Virginia brand is like poor or less developed.
Yeah.
And then of course, they identify a little bit more suburban and commuter. Still, they're still commuting a lot of them
Yeah.
into the DC area and places like that, Northern Virginia influence. So they'd be a little less likely. Now, let's look at West Virginia, current West Virginia. What would we get from a nature perspective? Oh, you get all those state parks.
Mm-hmm.
You get, I'm thinking about Blue Ridge Mountain or Shenandoah Mountain
Yeah.
that we used to cross all the time in Harrisburg. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about already, state parks in Western Maryland, beautiful. Nature would be hard to beat. We would be probably, I mean, in my opinion, West Virginia is already like the
Yeah.
nature scene on the East Coast. But if you added those counties, that's not even close, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Like nature scene, you win 100%, hands down. Best nature scene. We also, like we talked about earlier in the show, tax money coming in a little bit better, maybe. If they're bringing in more income and more tax money to us,
Yeah.
lower taxes for them, but more taxes for the state. Maybe then that gets spread around the pot a little better. Everybody's roads maybe get a little better.
Yeah.
I could be dreaming a little bit, but
Then there's all those tiny little things that are annoying, like licenses and sort of like a doctor's office. Everything would have to be moved over to like a West Virginia license.
that's true.
All of your plates, all of your tags, all of those little things would have to be. Oh my gosh. And just imagine like the caseload of whoever has to deal with all of that from all of these people and
That
all
would
these
be a
businesses.
lot, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It would take forever to get all that done. So
That's
I
true.
think about the
That's-
little
you
tiny
got a
things
good
that are
point.
like
You
really
got a good
annoying.
point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's true.
They might just not want to do it because of that.
Let me ask you something now that we're approaching the end. Would this ever happen?
No.
No, right. I agree. It's never going to happen.
And it's just
never
kind of
gonna
like, I
happen.
saw a lot of comments that were just like, I wish that we can just like take this time and energy and not waste it on this political stunt
Yeah.
and actually do things that we actually need.
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't see how they could possibly think that this could even come close to happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because all three states would have to agree, like we said, and all the counties would have to agree. It's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen.
I don't want Chris Rose coming after me, but do you not have anything else more pressing
He's
to
gonna come
take
for you.
care of?
He's here in Mon
He's not
County.
watching this.
He could come.
I know,
He might knock
especially
on our
in our
door.
county. In our county, it's just like, do you not have anything else? Like, I know
Well,
what goes
okay.
on.
I'm going to play advocate here for him just a little bit because I looked through the stats, and I think current West Virginia wins if those 30 counties. I think it's a good thing. Oh, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
Uh-oh.
But I can see where it'd be a good thing. Is it going to happen, though? No, it's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. I like that it's in the news though, because it was fun for me to
Yeah.
investigate and look at, like, what would it look like, and
I
I think that's
mean,
neat to think about
yeah.
for our purposes, because
Yeah.
we're a West Virginia podcast, so it's cool for us to talk about what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So
cool to think
it was cool
about,
to think
like, what
about,
would happen if California broke off from our country.
right?
Good things would happen,
Probably
but it's not going to
it's
happen.
not going to happen. All right, we're gonna give our opinion. They've been waiting this long.
Okay. Never. You'll
No, it's not going to
never do
happen.
it.
But do you? Would you be
No.
for it?
No.
You're not for it. You're against it.
And you know why?
Why?
The state shape.
Because of the state shape.
That's
That
only,
enough. That enough is for you.
only,
Even
yeah.
despite everything else I said to the
Mhm.
positive, you think ruining the state shape would do it for
That's
you.
more precious to me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'd have to take.
I'm
How
gonna
many
say
stickers would I have to? It's the stickers.
I'm going yes. I'm saying I would be for it.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I
Don't
would. And
fall
here's
for
why.
this.
I think the people were good people. And if they, because this is how I feel about the state already as exists. We've talked about it. But I always say the people who want to be in West Virginia, that's who I want to be in West Virginia. People who are miserable, I'm like, I hate it here. You know, they're not my people. I'll just put it that way. I want people who want to be here. So if the counties truly wanted to be here, they're like, man, I really want to join. Like Garrett County really want to join. Bluefield, Virginia really want to join.
Mm-hmm.
If Harrisonburg, JMU really want to join. If they really wanted to join and they voted, yeah, I would take them. I just would. I would take them because they want to be part of it. And because I think if that was the case, they're not joining to try to beat us down. They're not like, we're going to join and then change it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're like, we like what you're doing. We want to be a part of that. And so how could I say no to that? How could I say no to the good people who want to be able to hunt? They want to be able to fish. They want to be able to not be taxed like insane amounts.
Mm-hmm.
How could I say no to that? And the beautiful scenery that we would also gain.
All right.
I couldn't say no. So
I'm
I would
still
say
saying
yeah.
no.
I'd say yeah. Maybe some conditions. Maybe I wouldn't take all 30, perhaps. But
We'll take you,
I'm a
Garrett
conditional
County.
yes. We'll put it that way. We've talked about it before, and the comments, like I said, a lot of them are positive, saying I'd go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, we'll never know.
Like this person here, I will happily call myself a West Virginian. Please take us with 3 exclamation marks. That's on the Facebook one.
You're welcome to move, but the land stays.
Pesky U.S. Constitution strikes again. Oh, that's what a lot of people who said, please take us. A lot of people said you could just move.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people said, like, if you really don't want to be there, just move. But
it's not always that simple.
It's not always that simple. A lot of people have family and everything else. They got reasons. So,
yeah.
I don't know. All in all, to me, I think the people that are from these other states right now that are saying, I'm down. I like that. I think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, leave it in the comments and let us know
Here's
your opinion.
Take us in. Our county has industry as well as interstate. That's what I'm saying. It would help the counties that have industry things. This would help the state. They want to be a part of us. I'd take them. I'd take them. Yeah, you let us know. Mm-hmm. Yes or no. And you're not going to hurt our feelings because we have a yes and a no here. So if you're happening to watch from outside the state, because this episode may bring you in, I'm curious what you think. Would you join West Virginia if you're from outside of West Virginia? And what counties would you want to see join if you're a yes? Because you may be a conditional yes. Maybe you're like, I have certain 5 counties that I'd like to see. Let us know what those counties are.
Yes. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video and hanging out with us this evening and just kind of wondering what if.
What if? As always, if you like what you saw here and you want more West Virginia content, you can always click right here.
Ding.
And subscribe, and that'd help us out a lot. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.